Hello and welcome to KLM Institute.
Today's report dives deep into rising tensions in the Middle East and how they could impact the future of Asia, energy, nuclear power, and global peace. In the early hours of June 12, 2025, Israeli fighter jets, backed by U.S. satellite intelligence, launched devastating airstrikes on Iran. Their targets: nuclear sites in Natanz, Fordo, and Isfahan, facilities long suspected of powering Iran's nuclear ambition. But here's where things get serious. Iran has always claimed its nuclear program is for peaceful energy. Even the IAEA, the international nuclear watchdog, hasn't confirmed that Iran is building nuclear weapons. So why did Israel bomb Iran? That's the question the world is now asking. Many experts believe the airstrikes weren't just about nuclear fears. They were about control. Control over Iran's growing regional influence. Control over its vast oil reserves. And control over the balance of power in Asia. To understand this better, let's rewind. Iran is one of the world's top oil-rich countries. It supports groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Houthis in Yemen. It's a powerful player in Syria and Iraq. All this makes Iran a regional powerhouse, and a direct challenge to US and Israeli interests. Now, here's where the story expands. Back in 2023 and 2024, Gaza came under relentless attack. Following the October 7 conflict, Israel launched air and ground operations that flattened large parts of Gaza. More than 55,000 innocent civilians, men, women, and children, were killed, according to global reports. Entire neighborhoods were turned to dust. Israel said it was targeting Hamas. But many around the world saw it differently, as a brutal campaign to permanently weaken Palestine and take control of Gaza. And once Gaza was devastated, attention shifted. Next came Yemen. The Houthis, backed by Iran, were targeted by Israel, the US, and the UK. Missile bases and Red Sea shipping routes became the new battleground. After Yemen, it was Iran's turn. Step by step, Israel and the US began neutralizing Iran's allies. And now, they're going after Iran itself. But here's a huge double standard. Israel is widely believed to have over 90 nuclear weapons. Yet, no one questions Israel's arsenal. No international inspections. No sanctions. Why? Because the United States shields Israel, militarily, politically, and economically. This has created a two-faced global policy, where one nation is bombed for suspected nuclear plans, while another holds real nuclear power without oversight. Now, let's talk about what happens if Iran's government falls. If the US and Israel succeed in weakening or replacing Iran's current leadership, they could gain access to Iran's oil fields, reshape energy markets, and push their influence deeper into Asia. That shift would directly impact China, India, and Russia. China buys more oil from Iran than any other country. Russia cooperates with Iran in Syria and defense deals. India depends heavily on Gulf oil. If Iran is controlled or destabilized, these Asian giants could face Western pressure on energy, trade, and security. This conflict is no longer just regional. It's about the future of Asia. And look who's cooperating behind closed doors. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, even Syria, once critical of Israel, are now quietly aligning with US and Israeli plans. Many analysts now call them puppet states. Now imagine this. US military bases near Iran's borders. Israeli influence stretching from Gaza to Tehran. Oil pipelines and trade routes under Western control. That's how a regional war becomes a global strategy. But there's a cost. China, Russia, and India are nuclear powers. They won't accept threats easily. And if the US and Israel go too far, it could spark something bigger. a dangerous conflict involving global superpowers. We're already seeing the early signs. Protests are rising in cities like Karachi, Cairo, Istanbul, London, and even New York. People are questioning, is this really about nuclear safety, or is it about control? So, what does the future hold? More oil conflicts, more military tension, and more pressure on countries like China and India to choose sides. In the end, this isn't just a war about Iran. It's a battle over who will shape the 21st century, whether power stays with the West or shifts toward Asia. Stay informed, stay alert, because when bombs fall, it's always the innocent who suffer, while the powerful fight for dominance. This was KLM Institute, bringing you the stories that matter. If this report helped you understand the bigger picture, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real news, simplified. Thank you for listening.